Hi, today we're going to be making paper. I'm starting with a box that fits my screen, and what I'm going to do is take a big black plastic garbage bag and put it over the box. Because I will be making paper, here is a sample of the paper that I made using the pulp, and it's a little bit wet. So any moisture that goes into the box will be captured in the bag and I won't have a big flow. I start with a piece of paper towel on my screen. I used a wastebasket that has a mesh surface. I made this paper pulp that's in the cup by taking regular newspaper, shredding it and cutting it with a scissor to little small scraps, throwing it into a crock pot and boiling it and stirring it. Then I came out with this pulp. This is dried out a little bit, so I'll press it out with my hands. You can make it very fluid with a lot of water, and then a lot of water will go through your mesh screen and down into the dish pan underneath or the box with the plastic bag. I'm just taking pieces of this pulp, which is ground up newspaper, and spreading it out on my paper towel. It has a little bit of moisture in it, so it looks like it's a little bit thick. Now I'm going to add some color to my paper by taking some construction paper strips that I've already ripped up, and I'm going to rip off pieces and embed them in my pulp. Just by pressing them into the wet pulp, they'll stick and they'll create interesting color instead of just the brown-gray color of the multicolored newspaper scraps that I used for the pulp. You can also add pieces of plants, such as leaves. I have some leaves over here. If you'd like to, you can take a leaf and press it into your pulp. Now, after you have everything on the background of the pulp that you'd like, and I have a variegated edge, I don't have a perfectly square edge, I'm going to take some plastic wrap. You may use plastic wrap, you may use another piece of paper towel, or wax paper. Wax paper works very well with this project. I'm going to use this plastic wrap because it won't stick to the paper when I'm done. I just spread it across my paper, and then I take another piece of paper towel, and now I press so that the water goes through the screen and into the container below. You can just use a box with a plastic bag, or you could do it over a sink, or you could do it over a dish pan. Now I'm going to carefully take off my plastic, and here's my paper. In order to get the paper to come off the background, put the plastic back on, lift it up, turn it over. Now take off the paper towel, the plastic and the paper towel on top, and I can leave this piece of pulp paper to dry, and when it dries, it will come out light colored like this one. On this one, I added some pieces of ribbon just to make it more interesting. You may put anything you like on the pulp, and if you want to connect something to the pulp so that it's sticking off, you can just leave a little bit of a streamer sticking off and put a tiny bit of pulp on the top to attach it. I have another technique I'd like to talk about, and that's using regular construction paper and assembling it and putting it together using regular white glue. I can take my glue and put it along the edges And I can either use a paintbrush or my finger to spread it out. I'm putting a little bit of newspaper behind it so that it doesn't stick to the table. And then I'm going to put a piece of construction paper on either side on top of the glue. This way, when I'm done, I'll have a piece of construction paper that has all different colors on it. Now on each side here, I'm going to put another strip of glue and spread it with my finger. And I'm going to glue a strip on top. And now I'm going to put another strip of glue